Hey, it's Jeff, and welcome. I am in Quincy, Massachusetts, and I am visiting the final resting places of two of our early U.S. presidents, the second president, John Adams, and the sixth president, John Quincy Adams, plus their wives, the former first ladies. They are both entombed in this building behind me, the First Parish Church, which is right downtown. It's also part of a national park. The two of them were originally entombed over in the cemetery, which is off this way, off camera, which I will get to later in this video. But for now, I'm just here to pay my respects and maybe talk a little bit about the history of these two important presidents. So stick around, see what I have to say. You can hear voices behind me. There are some tours going on, but I am standing in front of the final resting place of the second president, John Adams, here in Quincy, Massachusetts. Beside him is his first lady, Abigail Adams. The entire national park here is really quite nice. Of course, the second president, of course, was one of the founders of the United States, a co-author of the Declaration of Independence, was vice president, first vice president under George Washington, and then the second president of the United States. Dealt a lot with the French Revolution at that time when he was the president. Abigail Adams. Now, directly next to them, and you probably notice the echo effect because this is a catacomb, so to speak. This is the sixth president of the United States, John Quincy Adams, and his wife, Louisa Catherine. John Quincy Adams was basically the first president who was elected that had not been part of the founding of the nation. Monroe, just before him, had a small part in all of that, but John Quincy Adams was the first one who hadn't had a part in that. He was more of a diplomat before he ultimately became the president of the United States. He was a Secretary of State, an ambassador during that time. An interesting trivial piece about John Quincy Adams is that he is also the earliest president of the United States to actually be photographed. It was after his presidency, but he was photographed later on. He's also one of the few presidents who, after he was president, ended up running for the U.S. Congress and became a member of the House of Representatives after he was president, which is very interesting. You wouldn't see that happening much today, I don't think. If I recall, Walter Mondale was a vice president. He was temporarily reappointed to the U.S. Senate for a while after the death of his predecessor. I don't think he ran, though, but anyway, that's beside the point. Resting place of John Quincy Adams. Behind me is the original resting place for both Presidents John Adams and John Quincy Adams, even though it just says J.Q. Adams on here, the son, the sixth president. Both John Adams, John Quincy Adams, and Abigail Adams, former First Lady, were all originally entombed here before they were moved inside the church over behind me here. Along this wall and up to this point here, this is the original burial site, as I mentioned, of two of our presidents. They were entombed here, then ultimately moved into the church behind me, where they rest in peace now. So, there you have it. So that'll conclude my visit to the final resting places of two presidents, John Adams and John Quincy Adams in Quincy, Massachusetts. Hope you found this video to be interesting. Hope you enjoyed looking at some of the sites, and I hope to be doing more of these as time goes on. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you again another time.